Morning. Socrates' defense, apology. Day 3. Let us first consider their disposition again, as though it represented a fresh prosecution. It runs something like this. Socrates is guilty of corrupting the minds of the young, and of believing in deities of his own invention, instead of the gods recognized by the state. Such is the charge. Let us examine its points one by one. First, it says that I am guilty of corrupting the youth. But I say, gentlemen, that Meletus is guilty of treating a serious matter with levity, since he summons people to stand their trial on frivolous grounds, and professes concern and keen anxiety in matters about which he has never had the slightest interest. I will try to prove this to your satisfaction. Come now, Meletus, tell me this. You regard it as supremely important, do you not, that our young people should be exposed to the best possible influence? I do. Very well, then. Tell these gentlemen who it is that influences the young for the better. Obviously, you must know, if you are so much interested. You have discovered the vicious influence, as you say, in myself, and you are now prosecuting me before these gentlemen. Speak up and inform them who it is that has a good influence upon the young. You see, Meletus, that you are tongue-tied and cannot answer. Do you not feel that this is discreditable and a sufficient proof in itself that what I said, that you have no interest in the subject? Tell me, my friend, who is it that makes the young good? The laws. That is not what I mean, my dear sir. I am speaking you to name the person whose first business it is to know the laws. These gentlemen here, Socrates, the members of the jury. Do you mean, Meletus, that they have the ability to educate the young and to make them better? Certainly. Does this apply to all jurymen or only to some? To all of them. Excellent. A generous supply of benefactors. Well, then, do these spectators who are present in court have an improving influence or not? Socrates being at it even at his trial. Amazing. Yes, they do. And what about the members of the council? Yes, the councillors too. But surely, Meletus, the members of the assembly do not corrupt the young. Or do all of them too exert an improving influence? Yes, they do. Then it would seem that the whole population of Athens has a refining effect upon the young, except myself, and I alone demoralize them. Is that your meaning? Most emphatically, yes. This is certainly a most unfortunate quality that you have detected in me. Well, let me put another question to you. Take the case of horses. Do you believe that those who improve them make up the whole of mankind, and that there is only one person who has a bad effect on them? Or is the truth just the opposite, that the ability to improve them belongs to one person or to very few persons who are horse trainers, whereas most people, if they have to do with horses and make use of them, do them harm? Is not this the case, Meletus, both with horses and with all other animals? Of course it is, whether you and Aeneas deny it or not. It would be a singular dispensation of fortune for our young people if there is only one person who corrupts them, while all the rest have a beneficial effect. But I need say no more. There is ample proof, Meletus, but you have never bothered your head about the young, and you make it perfectly clear that you have never taken the slightest interest in the cause for the sake of which you are now indicting me. Here is another point. Tell me seriously, Meletus, is it better to live in a good or in a bad community? Answer my question like a good fellow. There is nothing difficult about it. Is it not true that wicked people have a bad effect upon those with whom they are in the closest contact, and that good people have a good effect? Quite true. Is there anyone who prefers to be harmed rather than benefited by his associates? Answer me, my good man. The law commands you to answer. Is there anyone who prefers to be harmed? Of course not. Well then, when you summon me before the court for corrupting the youth and making their characters worse, do you mean that I do so intentionally or unintentionally? I mean intentionally. Why, Meletus, are you at your age so much wiser than I at mine? You have discovered that bad people always have a bad effect and good people a good effect upon their nearest neighbors. Am I so hopelessly ignorant as not even to realize that by spoiling the character of one of my companions, I shall run the risk of getting some harm from him? Because nothing else would make me commit this grave offense intentionally. No, I do not believe it, Meletus, and I do not suppose that anyone else does. Either I have not a bad influence, or it is unintentional, so that in either case your accusation is false. And if I unintentionally have a bad influence, the correct procedure in case of such involuntary misdemeanor is not to summon the culprit before the court, but to take him aside privately for instruction and reproof. Because obviously, if my eyes are opened, I shall stop doing what I do not intend to do. But you deliberately avoided my company in the past and refused to enlighten me, and now you bring me before this court, which is the place appointed for those who need punishment, not for those who need enlightenment. You see the same principle in the Christian ethics. It is quite clear by now, gentlemen, that Meletus, as I said before, has never shown any degree of interest in this subject. However, I invite you to tell me, Meletus, in what sense you make out that I corrupt the minds of the young. Surely the terms of your indictment make it clear that you accuse me of teaching them to believe in new deities instead of the gods recognized by the state. Is not that the teaching of mine which you say has this demoralizing effect? That is precisely what I maintain. Then I appeal to you, Meletus, in the name of these same gods about whom we are speaking, to explain yourself a little more clearly, to myself and to the jury, because I cannot make out what your point is. Is it that I teach people to believe in some gods, which implies that I myself believe in gods, and I am not a complete atheist, so that I am not guilty on that score, but in different gods from those recognized by the state, so that your accusation rests upon the fact that they are different? Or do you assert that I believe in no gods at all, and teach others to do the same? Yes, I say that you disbelieve in gods altogether. You surprise me, Meletus. What is your object in saying that? Do you suggest that I do not believe that the sun and moon are gods, as is the general belief of all mankind? He certainly does not, gentlemen of the jury, since he says that the sun is a stone and the moon a mass of earth. Do you imagine that you are prosecuting Anaxagoras, my dear Meletus? I'm sure Socrates pronounced it better. Have you so poor an opinion of these gentlemen And do you assume them to be so illiterate as not to know that the writings of Anaxagoras of Clazomenaea are full of theories like these? And do you seriously suggest that if it is from me that the young get these ideas, when they can buy them on occasion in the marketplace for a drachma at most, and so have the laugh on Socrates if he claims them for his own, to say nothing of their being so silly? Tell me honestly, Meletus, is that your opinion of me? Do I believe in no God? No, none at all, not in the slightest degree. You are not at all convincing, Meletus, not even to yourself, I suspect. In my opinion, gentlemen, this man is a thoroughly selfish bully, and has brought this action against me out of sheer wanton aggressiveness and self-assertion. He seems to be devising a sort of intelligence test for me, saying to himself, will the infallible Socrates realize that I am contradicting myself for my own amusement, or shall I succeed in deceiving him and the rest of my audience? It certainly seems to me that he is contradicting himself in this indictment, which might just as well run. Socrates is guilty of not believing in the gods, but believing in the gods. And this is pure flippancy. I ask you to examine with me, gentlemen, the line of reasoning which leads me to this conclusion. You, Meletus, will oblige us by answering my questions. Will you all kindly remember, as I requested at the beginning, not to interrupt if I conduct the discussion in my customary way? Is there anyone in the world, Meletus, who believes in human activities and not in human beings? Make him answer, gentlemen, and don't let him keep on making these continual objections. Is there anyone who does not believe in horses, but believes in horses' activities? Or who does not believe in musicians, but believes in musical activities? No, there is not, my worthy friend. If you do not want to answer, I will supply it for you and for these gentlemen too. But the next question you must answer. Is there anyone who believes in supernatural activities? And not in supernatural beings? No. We will have to find another word for that. How good of you to give a bare answer under compulsion by the court. Well, do you assert that I believe and teach others to believe in supernatural activities? It does not matter whether they are new or old. The fact remains that I believe in them according to your statement. Indeed, you solemnly swore as much in your affidavit. But if I believe in supernatural activities, it follows inevitably that I also believe in supernatural beings. Is not that so? It is. I assume your assent, since you do not answer. Do we not hold that supernatural beings are either gods or the children of gods? Do you agree or not? Certainly. Then if I believe in supernatural beings, as you assert, if these supernatural beings are gods in any sense, we shall reach the conclusion which I mentioned just now when I said that you were testing my intelligence for your own amusement, by stating first that I do not believe in gods, and then again that I do, since I believe in supernatural beings. If on the other hand these supernatural beings are bastard children of the gods by nymphs or other mothers, as they are reputed to be, who in the world will believe in the children of gods and not in the gods themselves? It would be as ridiculous as to believe in the young of horses or donkeys and not in the horses and donkeys themselves. No, Meletus, there is no avoiding the conclusion that you brought this charge against me as a test of my wisdom, or else in despair of finding a genuine offence of which to accuse me. As for your prospect of convincing any living person with even a smattering of intelligence that believe in supernatural and divine activities, divine, let's just go with divine, does not imply belief in supernatural and divine beings, and vice versa. It is outside all the bounds of possibility. We will stop there. Have a beautiful day.